Hello, welcome to Sunday Chat with Nick. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, happy Sunday. The weekend after Thanksgiving, I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving, a safe Thanksgiving. And for the first time in many years, I can safely say that I did not overeat this Thanksgiving. uh, there was restraint on my part, and I'm glad I did not overeat. I don't feel so bloated and guilty this year. Oh, have fun. Who dat? Who dat is going to the Saints football game. Who are they playing? Who dat? I'm not since my Steelers already play Thursday. I didn't really pay attention to the rest of the schedule today. I will watch some football for sure, but it's not on top of my priority things to do today. Was a good Thanksgiving. I did not. Oh, let's see. I saw who that said that he saw Arrival with the wife, and we both like it and the overall meaning. I'm glad you did. It definitely. Oh, the Rams. Oh, that'll be a fun game. I will probably watch it if it's on TV because I'm curious to see how the rookie quarterback of the Ram is going to do. It's always good to see someone, the number one draft pick, perform. He waited patiently while they make him waited a long time compared to Philadelphia, who played their rookie quarterback right away, right? Dano, hello. Yes, who that? Um, it's Arrival is not a movie for everyone. I understand the complaint from some people that felt that it was boring or slow. I understand that it's not a movie for everyone. But I think if you can make the if whenever there's a difference, you know, um, opinion on a film, it's always hard to express your side of the argument without annoying or make the other side feel like somehow they're wrong or dumb or stupid or not smart enough or whatever. So I always trying to choose my word as careful as I could because I understand at the end of the day we're all very different, and how we interpret a movie is very different. How we view life in general is very different. So some people can make the connection to the overall theme of the movie. For me, I definitely like the movie more as I connect with the overall theme by the end. It Yep, words are like weapon. Uh and at the same time, opinions are opinions. It's as I have talked about this so many times on my channel, is that just because someone have a different opinion, it does not invalidate my opinion. Okay, so I just had someone post a comment on my Arrival non-spoiler review that it's boring, it's not a good movie, blah blah blah, and I left it there. I did not delete it. I did not do anything of the sort. Hello, Raz. Because it's her opinion. If someone think the movie is not good, that's fine. It does not invalidate that I think it is a smart movie. At the same time, by saying that it's a smart movie, I do not want people to take that as if they dislike the movie that they are stupid. See, like I said, word is just The way people parse out words, it can be a royal pain in the butt. At the end of the day, it's about being able to respect others' opinion and separate out that we all have our own opinion. It's it's a human thing. God, it's one of the worst human flaw in the world. Raz, if you see the movie, I'm sure Who Dat and I would love to talk about it. Rob, wise guy, is here. Hello, Rob. Let's see. So I'm not a big fan of shopping. So needless to say, the day after Thanksgiving was not a big deal for me. I didn't even go online to shop. I did buy some comic books online on eBay. So I did go shopping on eBay a little bit. um, but as far as Black Friday shopping, I have everything I need. Okay, thankfully my wife shop clothes for me. Otherwise, I would wear the same ratty t-shirts and shorts and hats that I have for a decade. My wife usually said, I think it's time to buy you a new shirt or new hat because it looked like hell. I look, like I said, I dress, as you can see, the way I present myself is pretty average. Robert, I'm guessing this is Robert Finofrock. Yeah, I don't, my, when it comes down to our family, no doubt my wife probably dress the nicest, and then Anthony is like me. We are simple. Anthony rarely wear pants, rarely, because he's a Florida kid. He wears shorts 99% of the time, shorts and flip flop. That's his attire for. Well, in school he wears sneakers, but he still wears shorts and t-shirts. It's rare that Anthony would wear a collar t-shirt. Very rare, even in school. Maybe on a yearbook day, we had to take a picture for the yearbook. That's when he wear a collar shirt. I haven't done 1 ounce of shopping this holiday. Good for you. More American should adopt that kind of philosophy. When I turn on Friday morning, every Friday after Thanksgiving, and I see this mad rush of people at Walmart or whatever store to grab the midnight madness stuff and shopping, I'm just like, why? What is wrong with people? Why must people feel a need to buy anything? This consumerism of America is just madness. It go beyond. Comic book addiction is pretty bad, but shopping addiction of America is much worse. Because, oh my god, I see what people brag about what they bought. I'm just like, oh my god, as if anybody need this stuff. Yes, who that? Anytime. My schedule is pretty open, so whenever you and Raz can agree on the time, just PM me as far as Luke Cage review, and I will join you. It does not have to be on my channel. Originally we discussed about having multiple reviews, but now that we all have seen the entire show, we can just do one long show and talk about the show in general, and just have one big long chat. It can be on Rad's channel. It can be on Who Dad's channel. It does not need to be on my channel. I got enough stuff on this channel. I don't need, it to be appear here. I would be happy to join either of your channel on the live chat, and even on Arrival. If you two want to have a discussion on Arrival spoiler field discussion later, I would be happy to join. I love to talk about movies. I like to talk about movies and TV shows more than comic book, in all honesty. Who that does not have a Twitter account? That's okay. I just started on, well, I had a Twitter account, but I think I sent about 5 tweets in my last 4 years. I think I opened a Twitter account about the same time I started loading video here. And I'm pretty sure I don't tweet more than 5 or 10 times. Yeah, yes, even Doctor Strange. I'm here. Like I said, so either one of you guys and girls, whenever you want to get together to talk about Doctor Strange, even the show 3%, that's what I did Friday. Okay. On Friday, as people went shopping, I sat down and binge 3%. 3% on Netflix. That was my Friday. Yes, Raz. I think I tweeted like 5 or 10 times maximum in the last 4 years. And I think 1 or 2 of those tweets was to Damien, Sleepy Reader. I just can't tweet. I follow a bunch of people on Twitter just to stay in touch of what they had to say or do, but very rarely. I'm not, I my son, he's love Instagram. He love Snapchat. I am on Instagram. I think I'm semi active on Instagram. But Anthony loves Snapchat. His generation definitely enjoyed the cuteness with Snapchat. Yeah, see, Raz, you also tweet Damien. Yeah, Damien is fairly active. Well, I wouldn't know how active he is. I think he's more active than me, for sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I subscribe to. I follow you on Instagram, right? Who that? I know I follow Raz on Instagram. I'm not sure if I follow you on Instagram. The thing is with Instagram, there's a lot of people on Instagram that is on YouTube, but they don't use the same handle. Okay, I use the same handle everywhere I go, whether it's here on YouTube, on Facebook, on CGC forum, on CBCS forum, you name it, wherever I have joined, it has been ETA Nick. Okay, wherever I go, there's only, no matter where. I mean, if you follow car forum, back in my younger days, I was more car focused, more car crazy, modified car. I was a mod. I do all kind of stupid, crazy thing with cars. But yeah, it's also ETA Nick in a few car forum. So yes, I had the same handle. But back to the show 3%. If you are a fan of sci-fi, I think you will like 3%. 3% is a Brazilian show that Netflix funded. Okay, it's one of those Netflix exclusive that they funded, and it's, as I mentioned in my review. I load my review last night, and it's, what make it good is the characters. As I mentioned in my reviews, if you haven't seen it, is that the concept of the show is not new. It's like Maze Runner, Revenant, The Island. It's even the recent TV show. There's a show on USA Network that has, it's always a show of, well, 3%. By just hearing the name 3%, you kind of get the idea that it's exclusive Okay, it's a society that have an exclusive club. Um, yes, I'd be happy to have a live chat, spoiler field discussion on 3% as well. Um, it's an interesting show, and it's in my review, my spoiler-free review. Try to watch it in Portuguese with the subtitle, okay? Because the English dub is not very good. You know, I'm never a big fan of dub movie, never. Okay, but I think for this show, it hurt it even more because the tone. You know, when you listen to the actors speak in Portuguese, you can understand it meant more. The tone, the voice fluctuation, all that, it just worked. And then when you hear the dub voice, it just monotone. I felt that the dub was fairly poorly done. If anything, Netflix should figure out how to do as far as producing this show is maybe hire some better actors to dub, because I felt the dubbing was close to being horrendous. It does injustice to the show. Like, it's at the end of the day, what makes 3% decent to watch. Um, for sure, I am looking forward to season 2. I think what make it good is they don't reveal too much. Okay, it's character driven sci-fi. That's the best way for me to say it without spoiling any more. Jorge, yes, I have seen the Ghost in the Shell trailer now a couple times. I had to rewatch it. Now, to be honest, I'm not familiar with the franchise as far as the manga and the book and the cartoon, the animation. I'm not familiar with that at all. So I would be the last person to comment on um, whether it look authentic or real or anything like that. My reaction to Ghost in the Shell is that it looked good as far as what I saw. I was surprised that it was 2 minute plus. I thought it was gonna be like a quick 30-second teaser that show nothing, but it turned out to be like a full trailer, 2.5 minutes long. Um, everything looked interesting, no doubt. I'm definitely interested in seeing the movie. Um, you know, when it comes down to Scarlett Johansson being cast in a role, I am indifferent. You know, which is a surprise to a lot of my friends, because a lot of my friends thought I would be up in arm complaining about whitewashing this and that. And to me, from what I have seen as far as the manga and all the depiction of this character in the past few months since the controversy appeared, it was drawn in such a way that it does not look Asian, like the character, So plus the character is a robot. Okay, this is not spoiler. From what I had been told by friends that followed this, the the robot in the book, in the manga, went through many transformation. I think at one point it was an old man as well. So whether it's a white Caucasian girl it does. So it doesn't matter. This is not a role that I'm disappointed that it's not an Asian actress given the role. This is not the place for that battle, in my opinion. Valerian Rest, I agree. The trailer for Valerian was underwhelming. Part of it too is the actor. There is a thing about that actor that I somehow, the name of the actor escaped me. Okay, all I can say is he's the same actor that appeared in Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man 2. And I had seen him in other movies, so it's not that I only see him in Spider-Man. I saw him in a few other movies, and I personally never. I don't dislike him. I don't dislike him, but at the same time, I don't get the positive accolation and the buzz with that actor. I don't get it. It's one of those actors that I'm like, leading man role? I don't think so. The person who tweets, you block the person that didn't like your not so positive comment. Yes, that's the way to do it. I don't block that many people on YouTube, but I have blocked a few people that I feel are a certain individual. I have a hater on YouTube that has bugged me for a long time, and he has unsub, and 90% of his comments are negative or insulting. 90%. If people that watch my video and read the comments, I'm sure you figured out who it is. But this individual posts nothing. Well, I would say nothing but negative, for the most part negative, sometimes insulting, and it have reached a point where I decided that if this individual decide to create multiple accounts to post the same kind of garbage, then I will block him. And that's what I have done. But that's the only time that I have blocked anyone on YouTube. The rest of the time, if someone leave a negative comment, it doesn't bother me. But I get a good sense about this particular individual. Raz Reed, yes, that's him. Yeah. In Chronicle, I thought he was okay. I thought Michael B. Jordan was a much better was a better part of that movie that make me like Chronicle more. But yeah, I see him in that movie. I see him in Spider-Man. I see him in like one other movie. There's been 3 movies now that I saw him, and I don't understand the hype that Hollywood is trying to build up this guy. No, he's okay. He's not leading man material. He's not leading role material. Not saying that I hate him. It's just that me not impressed. That's about the best way I can put it. Jorge said, "I love Luc Besson." Besson? I wonder what's the best way to pronounce his last name. He's French, right? So is it Besson or Besson? Besson would be the American way, the English way, but I think the right way is Besson. I like Luc Besson, but I think he always go over the top on many things. Just like The Fifth Element. The Fifth Element has its good and bad. Luckily for me, The Fifth Element has more good than bad. So I enjoy the movie, but at the same time, I don't enjoy that too much to rewatch it. I have never watched. I think I have watched Fifth Elements twice. That's it. After the second time, I said there is no way I will ever watch this movie ever, 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 ever again. Bye, who dad? Yes, the Black Panther cast is turning out quite well. Quite well. I am excited about the movie. It's gonna be fun. I am excited about Black Panther for sure. Mikey can fly. Hello, Mike. Lois Lane asks, "What do you think is the best movie for 2016 so far?" Oh, before I answer that question, Raz, I agree completely. He was not Chris Rock, Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker, right? Is the worst part of that movie. He was so out of place. Whoever tried to squeeze him in, oh my God, whoever wrote that, oh, his Chris Tucker was unbearable in that movie. Unbearable to a point where the second time I watched the movie, I said, no more, no more. Oh, Lois Lane asked a tough question. What's the best movie for 2016? Um, hmm, hmm, hmm. Damn. 2016 was not a great year. I will be the first to admit that there's nothing in this year so far that is in my category of must watch movie. Okay, I have a video series where I make video on movies that I consider must watch, like The Last of Mohican, Apocalypto. This year so far, there has not been a movie that fit a category of must watch. Thankfully, there are not that many that I saw that fall into the category of must avoid. Nothing horrendous. Ah, man. Best movie. Oh man, that's a doozy of a question. Um, hmm. I enjoyed The Accountant a lot. I enjoy Arrival in a different way. They're very different movie, but I'm trying to think of movie that I can say positive things about it. Certainly, Doctor Strange was serviceable. Hacksaw Ridge was okay. Uh, was good for me, but nothing like, oh, you have to see this. That's the thing. This year, there is not a movie that I would go pound the table and tell my friends, you have to see this movie. So far in 2016, it has been a disappointing year in that there is nothing that I can pound the table and tell everyone I know that they should go see this movie. Oh man, yeah. I like Mel Gibson movie, Lois Lane. I like it. I think I gave it, was it eight, 8.5, something like that. But it's good, but it's not like a must see. When it comes down to a movie, Lois Lane, I recognize that some people don't like war movie. You know, just like some people might not like a chick flick family drama thing. So it's not for everyone. I certainly don't think it's Mel Gibson best. I like it, but uh, as I mentioned in my review of that movie, there is some pacing issues in the first half of the movie that I felt didn't really work for me. The second half of the movie is crazy great, but the first half has some issues. Um, um, the Accountant was a more evenly paced movie, which I think was better. Uh, yeah, it's hard for me to say this year. But for now, if I had to rate the movie that I have recommended, believe it or not, the movie that I have recommended more than any other movie since I saw it is The Accountant. Out of all the movies that I watch, Hacksaw Ridge, Arrival, I've probably have recommended The Accountant to more people than any other movie this year. So if I sit here now and reflect on that, I would say The Accountant is my favorite movie of this year because I recognize that Arrival is not meant for everyone. Same thing with Hacksaw Ridge is not designed for everyone. So the one that I think more people will enjoy watching would be The Accountant. Certainly, I enjoyed it more than the other two. Maybe Rogue One. Maybe, like I said, we still have a month left in movie watchings. We can only hope that Rogue One will be an intelligent Star Wars movie and not dumbed down to the fanboy level of mediocrity. Okay. Did I like Captain America Civil War? I like it, but it's it's a better movie. I like it more than Doctor Strange. Okay, but I don't see myself watching that movie again. If you follow my channels and my reviews on up, I'm never a huge fan of Marvel movies because I felt that for the most part, it was never. For the most part, I think that the Marvel formula is okay as far as making movies, but they always left me wanting a lot more because they always skim on the villain, and that's the problem with Civil War. Was I thought Zemo was horrendous in the movie. Um, no doubt, it's fun to see Spider-Man. The action was great, but I'm beyond the action. I get to the point now where when I see a superhero movies with all that action, nothing make me sit up and like, wow. I sit there and I'm just like, it's okay, and I always circle back to the flaws, the plot holes, and the nonsense of the movie. So I'm okay with. Like I said, I like Captain America: Civil War, but not anywhere near enough to put it as the best movie. It's nowhere even close to be my favorite movie of 2016. Favorite movie of all time? Oh man, Mikey, impossible question to answer. Impossible. Casablanca? Ooh, Vincent de Casablanca. Favorite movie of all time? I literally cannot answer that question. If I had to, as I mentioned, I think in other videos, it's easier for me to pick a genre and say this is my favorite horror of all time. The Thing with John Carpenter. Okay, the top two, interchangeable, would be the first Alien movie, classic horror movie that took place in space, but a fantastic horror movie. That movie is so well done, so well shot, so well paced that I think it's a timeless classic. That's a must-watch movie. I need to load my video talking about Alien, but so when I talk about like my favorite horror film, I would put in The Thing, Alien as my top two, but that's about as close I can as far as picking favorite category. But when it comes down to other category, I can name a lot of movies that are in my must-watch list, like Shawshank Redemption, Silence of the Lamb, Alien, The Thing. I mean, it's it's just too many. It just I can throw in a bunch of Hitchcock movie in there too, as far as classic that I thought is fantastic. It's so yeah, it's a tough, it's an impossible question. It's just like what's going on in the YouTube comic community. Your top 5 favorite covers. I probably can narrow down to top 5 favorite titles of a title of a character, but of all time, that's just that. Sure, people do it, and everyone admit that it's difficult and impossible, but they do it. But for me, I didn't even bother making a video because at the end of the day, I can hardly pick the top 5 of a character or even a title, let alone top 5 cover of all time. Can't do it. Pink Flamingo. Oh my God. Is that the one with uh Pink Flamingo? It's a movie that was in take place in like the 40s and the 50s, right? Is that the one with Matt? What his name? The good looking guy. Unless I'm wrong. No, Young Frankenstein, one of the best comedy, right? Great comedy. How much money YouTube decide to give me? Not much. But yeah, I like your pick. I think Trading Place is timeless as far as comedy. Movie like Back to the Future is timeless for me. Young Frankenstein is timeless too. It's a movie that does not need to be remake. Who was the star in Pink Flamingos, Rez? That I know I've seen it. I know I've seen it. I just can't put the name. Was it Matt something? I'm trying to. I know he has. If I think it's a right movie, he has a younger brother that's also an actor. But I need to. Audrey Hepburn, oh, classic beauty, classic beauty. Matt Dillon. See, I was right. So I was right about the movie. I'm just like Matt. I know it's not Matt Damon. I'm like Matt something, Matt. And I know he has a younger brother that make pretty crappy movie. Robert Finofrock said Empire Strikes Back. That's my favorite of all the Star Wars movie, no doubt. That's up there. Wrath of Khan, classic Star Trek movie. Even as far as horror, The Shining, Exorcist. I mean, those are to this day when I watch The Exorcist or The Shining, it still give me the creep. Okay, it still give me the creep because it is such a well shot, pace horror that I just love to see horror like that where it's not bloody. It's even when it's not supposed to be on the scene, that the tension that are built in Exorcist is just insane. Even when it's not supposed to be scary, I'm scared. Watching The Exorcist, I'm scared on literally every scene. Lois Lane said, "I have noticed lately that the artist's artwork has gone downhill lately." Um, well, one of the things that is that the industry, I think, okay, I'm speaking way out of the realm of competency here. I don't buy modern books, so take what I say with a grain of salt, okay? Because I'm not the core market audience that are buying these things right now off the rack. But I think the your perception of the decline in focus on comic book artists is that more than ever the industry is cover focus, okay, where all the big names are focused on doing pin up covers. There are a lot of great amazing artists that does covers only, and there's a lot of collectors out there that are covers collector only. Okay, so that's just there are less and less readers. Um, that's my take. Okay, so there are certainly less and less people talk about the artists that are drawing the inside. More eye candies are being put on the covers. Therefore, more people are talking about Scott, Lee, Hugh, Hughie, you name it. There are so many wonderful cover artists, and that's one reason why I do the artist spotlight, showing the art inside the book. Because, as I mentioned in a few videos, doing sequential art by itself is an art. Storytelling is an art, and so many people are not paying attention to that aspect of comic books. Everyone is gushing over a sexy cover because Adam Hugh can draw gorgeous, cute, pretty, curvaceous woman, right? But it's no secret that Adam Hugh cannot draw sequential art very well. If he was doing sequential art inside of a book, he would be nowhere as famous as he is right now. But he got his niche. His niche is draw women pin up on covers. So are many other artists. The majority of the famous cover artists just focus on women in all different poses. Yeah. Greatest comic storyteller. That's a tough one. That's a tough question. You know, as far as for me, okay, I can only answer this for me, being that you know all the name that you mentioned, um, I would put John Byrne in there because he is one that write, plot, draw, ink himself many very good stories. He can do all aspect of a comic book, and many of his early work with the Fantastic Four, in his long run with the Fantastic Four, is fantastic. Fantastic. I mean, it's it's underappreciated. I mean, I think so many people are enamored with Kirby and Stan Lee run with the Fantastic Four in the Silver Age, that there is absolutely almost nothing mentioned about the Fantastic Four after Jack Kirby left. I can tell you, being a fan of the Fantastic Four and have a lot of Fantastic Four book, whether it's Silver Age to Bronze to Copper to Modern, I felt that John Byrne run, for the most part, was woefully underappreciated because he's a good storyteller. John Byrne is a very good storyteller. Um, there's a lot of good artists that I felt is a very bad storyteller, like Jim Lee. I has always been critical on Jim Lee. Jim Lee is a wonderful artist, okay, but to me, um, in sequential art storytelling, I think Jim Lee had some issues as far as, for me, at least this is for me. My take is, whenever I read a Jim Lee uh, drawn book, yes, the art is good, the art is great, everything looked nice, but as far as the flow of the story, I felt it's for me, it didn't really work. It didn't work when he was with the X-Men for me. As much as I love seeing him on the X-Men, I was not a huge fan of the entire Omega Red. And oh, I thought the art looked fantastic, but when I read those early X-Men issues with Jim Lee, I'm just like, oh man, the picture is pretty, but the story is just, the panels just didn't make sense. It just, there's a lot of sizzle, not a lot of the other things. Um, I think if you look at John Byrne run with the Fantastic Four, get the get the book from his big. I don't have the number on top of my head, but I think I enjoyed it until um, the end of the Trial of Galactus. I thought those 20-ish or 30 issues of Fantastic Four was absolutely great. Okay, absolutely great. Fun read, great story. John Byrne did everything himself, from writing to drawing to inking. Fantastic. I mean, you have so many. John Byrne brought back so many great Silver Age villain from T-Rex. Well, not Silver Age, but he brought back, of course, Galactus. The Doom story that he wrote for that run, excellent. But it's my, like I said, it, a lot of people don't give John Byrne enough credit for what he did with the X-Men. Chris Claremont got way too much praise for the X-Men, but a lot of that praise should go toward John Byrne, the co-plotter of most of those storylines, okay? If not many of the storyline, because Chris Claremont may have be co-plotter and put down a lot of the words, the dialogue, but you can say the Dark Phoenix saga has a lot of John Byrne hands in it. Okay, so you can't shortchange John Byrne for the co-writer, plotters of some of the classic stories in comic books. Frank Miller, no doubt, is in there too. There's a lot, but Frank Miller has always got the accolade as far as a good storyteller, because he wrote Daredevil for a long time. He wrote many things that he drew himself. So it's not. I don't think I don't think Frank Miller gets slighted for not being put in the group that he's a good storyteller. I think John Byrne often is left out of that because everyone associates John Byrne with his art in the X-Men, and and not give him the kudos that he deserves. Nick, will you ever change your mind knowing about Romita Superman? Would you ever give it another look? Would I give it another look? Sure. I have not looked at it recently, so I don't know if it has changed. As we have discussed, Jorge, John Romita is hit or miss. I did not like his interpretation of Superman when I first saw it. I saw a few pages, I saw a few covers, and it looked not to my taste. Would I give it another look? Sure. Would I like it? I don't know. Joe Kubert, Alex Toth, yeah. I mean, there's a lot. It's a lot, I think when it comes down to a good storyteller, my take is, to me, a good artist, a good storyteller is like a good director, right? Because you can almost storyboard that's what a good director can do, unless he not very good and had to hire someone to do storyboard talent. Storyboard the comic books of a movie. It's but for me, a good storyteller is like a good director, because you can visualize the story, plan out the panels and the whole story flows to make it fit. I mean, I'm a huge Jack Kirby fan, but I have always I have criticized Jack Kirby storytelling a few times in many videos, in that if you read Jack Kirby Fantastic Four, it always felt extremely rushed at the end, because the pacing of the story is never to my liking. As far as the Fantastic Four Silver Age, you have this build up of the bad guy and the and the flow of the story go really well the first 17 page of the story, and then in the last 3 page it's a big rush to defeat the villain, and it's the same form. It happened just about every issue, and I has always complained that reading a Fantastic Four Silver Age book always left me wanting a lot more, because as much as I like Jack Kirby art, I find that his pacing of the story has some issues. It's not that it's bad. Okay, I'm sure some Kirby fan out there will thumbs down to this video because, oh, how can you say that about Jack Kirby? He's great at many things. He's not great at storytelling as far as pacing. Okay, let's get that very clear. Pacing. If you read many Fantastic Four Silver Age story and everything come to a crashing halt at the end, on the last 2 page, where somehow Richard was able to come in and defeat the villain with some knickknacks just to end the story, that's what I'm talking about. Klaus Janson, good question, Jorge. Klaus Janson, I think, is a decent penciler, because I think there's part of me that think that Frank Miller penciling in his later stage of his career with Daredevil resemble more of Klaus Janson. Well, if you understand how Frank Miller drew pencil very different from the time that he started in Daredevil until his last part of Daredevil, where he mostly outlined, and then Klaus Janson kind of finished the penciling and the inking. So, I think if you enjoyed the last year of Frank Miller / Klaus Janson involvement, and then eventually Klaus Janson took over, right? It's almost, to me, it's almost unnoticeable as far as the art changing. So I don't dislike it. I'm not a huge fan of Klaus Janson, but it works for me with that particular character. Okay, I don't think Klaus Janson art works well with many other characters, but he works well with street level characters like Daredevil, Moon Knight. I think he can do a great job on Moon Knight, and he has inked a few issues of Moon Knight in the early days. For investment purpose, Lois Lane asked, for investment purpose long term, is it better to spend a little more to get a better graded book? That's a tough one, Lois, because higher grade does not necessarily mean a better investment. Okay, I can tell you, if you look at, say, Amazing Fantasy 15, if you go and study the price of, say, like an 8.0, okay, an 8.0 compared to, say, a 2.0, I guarantee you, percentage wise, the 2.0 gave you a better return in the last 15 years. So instead of spending the money to buy an 8.0 Amazing Fantasy 15, that person would have been better off buying 10 copies of a 2.0 because he would have made twice the money. So I think for some books, that's why, it's not, and you can't really generalize across all the books either. Some books may do better in higher grade, some won't. Perfect example would be, say, Hook 181. As you have seen if you see my videos, I have point out the price of 9.8 Hook 181 many times. It basically dead money for the past many years. So that's not a good investment. But if you buy, say, an 8.0 Hook 181, you probably make decent money over the past 5-10 years. So when it comes down to it, buying a higher grade does not necessarily mean a better return. Okay, it's book by book. You have to study each book on its own merit. It would be too hard to give a sweeping general statement that apply to all the books, if you know what I mean. Jorge said, Nick, I know you don't like Romita Superman, but I think you may like Romita Thor. It felt very much like an updated classic Marvel style. Big bold figures, has curvy lightweight and power to it. Um I you know I I like John Romita in, like I said, when it comes down to John Romita Jr., um, for some it works. I have felt that his run on Daredevil was awesome. His run on Spider Man, great. I like it. It works. Iron Man, even the non Bob Layton corroboration is still good. X-Men, horrendous. For some reason, his X-Men stuff to me looked like complete utter garbage. Okay, garbage. I hated those X-Men. I have bought and read those X-Men issues off the rack once. I have never opened any of those X-Men issues that he drew more than once. I bought it, read it, bag it, bought it, done. They stay in the box all these decades. There's no need for my eyes to see any of that stuff ever again. uh, I hated those books so much. Um, uh, and I have seen his work on Punisher. It works. Okay, his style work on Punisher. I mean, I enjoyed that. So it's weird on how he is a hit and miss it with me. I need to see the book, the sequential storytelling, all that stuff before I can say I like it or not. It's just that for whatever reason, his work on the X-Men was extremely bad for my eyes and brains. I see a presser press a CGC 8.0 and get a CGC 9.4. Why is not worth doing on a graded book? Why is I think I understand your question. Is just that pressing, it's hit or miss. It's about having a good eye to spot books that can be improved. I think a lot of people that are naive about pressing just assume that anything can be pressed up. Nothing can be more false from that kind of myth. Okay, so when it comes down to pressing, I think it's I give a bigger kudos to the presser that can spot a book that can be improved. Okay, because it doesn't work that way for many books. I have had many books. I have seen many people with the wrong assumption that they can press a book, dry clean a book, and somehow it's gonna be a guaranteed grade up. Not so. Do not even think that that's the case. Learn how to grade first before you make any kind of assumption that pressing and cleaning is going to improve a grade. I can't stress enough. I just look at the clock. It's noontime. My check has already run its 1 hour course. Time for me to say goodbye. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Safe one. Other than that, I don't see any other thing here. I think I answered all the question. Next chat will be Wednesday. I will have an announcement next Wednesday about my trivia / Jeopardy style game that I plan next month. Okay, so I'm organizing the list of questions for the game. So far, I had came up with like 60 plus questions. I'd like to get it up to like over 100 questions so that I have a good inventory of questions to use. So hopefully I can finalize the format of the trivia game, and I will make the announcement next week. Anyhow, Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Have a safe Sunday. Until next time, bye bye.